Your clothing show your focus on spirituality. I want to share with you a few stories. Few stories that have to do with clothing, and I have to give credit to Rav Gad Buskila. He gave a beautiful drasha. I'm literally going to copy paste his stories because they were great stories. And these stories will help us learn a great point about our Avodat Hashem. We had two world leaders meet at the White House. We had Donald Trump and Zelensky. Donald Trump showed up in a blue suit, a red tie. He even did his hair. Zelensky showed up in his gym clothes. He came in a t-shirt, he came in fatigue pants and sneakers. When he first got out of the car and Trump went to meet him outside of the White House, you know what he tells him? I see you got dressed up for the event. He was being snide, he was being facetious. Later on, when they were sitting down before the whole back and forth, one of the reporters asked, I have one question. They thought it was going to be a political question. What did he ask? Do you own a suit? Meaning, you're at the White House. There's a certain way you act when you walk into the White House to meet a president, to when you're a guest in a country. Rabbi Gad Buskila travels a lot to Morocco. He shared an incredible story with us. He says, when you go to visit the King of Morocco, when you go to the palace, there's almost like a person who's in charge of the etiquette, the proper protocol of how to be in the palace. And one of the protocols is the dress protocol. How to appear when you're in front of the king. And he says you cannot be inside the palace or be in the same room of the king if you're not wearing a suit, and that your suit has to be buttoned. Meaning, if you gained weight and you became fat, and all of a sudden the suit that you have doesn't close all the way, like mine right now, right? It doesn't close all the way, you can't go. Kal vachomer melech malchei hamelachim. Even more so, when we approach the King of all kings, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how should we dress? If you can't go in front of the King of Morocco because your jacket won't close, how should we interact with Hashem, the King of all kings? That's why when we come to serve Hashem, how do we come? What kind of honorable clothing do we have for that moment? Sometimes we become so desensitized to these points that we don't even think about it. That we have to actually relearn what it means to honor a king, relearn what it means honorable clothing, and reteach ourselves what's the right approach to approach HaKadosh Baruch Hu.